The story campaign is the main focus for any Legend of Zelda game, however it could be time to add in more meaningful endgame activities into the series. So in Breath of the Wild we could finish up the shrines and find all the Korok seeds, and the Zelda community has been making up their own endgame adventures. Well, today I want to have a look at what we can do after the story in Breath of the Wild, and crucially what Nintendo could add to Tears of the Kingdom to give players reasons to come back time and time again. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Zelda content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. Well, before we get into today's topic, let me know in the comments if you want to see endgame activities or post-campaign content in Tears of the Kingdom, and let me know what kind of activities you want to see. Breath of the Wild is a huge game and it varies in terms of how much time it takes to go through it. Now, on my first playthrough, it took me roughly 30 to 40 hours or so. I pretty much mainlined the game, didn't really do too much exploring. I did the Divine Beasts, enough of the shrines, and then I beat Ganon. So once I beat the game, I did spend a little bit of time exploring and finishing up as many shrines as I could find. And it was a really memorable experience, and not really something you can repeat. Now, since the game first came out in 2017, I have played through Breath of the Wild again a couple of times. I played through on Master Mode, plus played through that DLC, and more recently I've been playing through for a third time, but this time I'm really taking my time. I'm taking the complete opposite approach compared to when I first played the game by exploring everything and trying to find all the hidden stories, the side quests, all the Korok seeds and everything. Now my plan is to leave no stone unturned before I even think about going for the Divine Beasts, or heading into Hyrule Castle and facing off against Ganon. Well, I love the Legend of Zelda series and I love spending time in Hyrule, however, when I finish the game there isn't really left much to do other than playing through the game again. We might be lucky and Nintendo may release some DLC, although that is not a given. Now, I'd like to see more from Nintendo when it comes to supporting endgame or post-campaign content to keep me in that world, especially when considering how long it takes for a new Zelda game to come out. Now, it used to be a couple of years between releases. For example, Majora's Mask to Wind Waker was 2 years and 7 months, but more recently it's been 5 or even 6 years. Well, that is a lot of time without a new Zelda adventure, and I think endgame activities could really help keep us engaged. Well, next up, let's have a look at Breath of the Wild's endgame or its post-campaign content. So Breath of the Wild does not have a great endgame. Once you've defeated Calamity Ganon and the Dark Beast Ganon, then you go back to the point just before that fight, so if you want to explore the rest of Hyrule, then you are free to do so. You've got side quests, you can find all 120 shrines, and you can even get the classic Link armor. You can also find all 900 Korok seeds if you really want to, so the shrines, they are probably the most fun post-campaign activity, as at least you have a little bit of direction and the prize of a puzzle, or somewhere new to explore, is really a good motivating factor. We did get DLC content months after release, which included the Trial of the Sword, Master Mode, the Hero's Path, and also new armor. We then got more with the Champion's Ballad, plus more armor sets. I think this is a good direction, but obviously this takes time and effort from Nintendo to keep making this kind of content. Well, Tears of the Kingdom was born because the Zelda team wanted to keep adding to Breath of the Wild, but they found they had too many ideas and too much content, so they decided to make a full sequel. If mainline Zelda games are going to continue to take 5 to 6 years to develop, then I'd really like to see a couple of years of support after the main game, post-campaign DLC updates or other features that are going to keep players engaged. Well, next up, let's have a look at how Nintendo could improve the endgame activities in Tears of the Kingdom. So one improvement to Tears of the Kingdom could be the introduction of New Game Plus. So Master Mode was introduced in Breath of the Wild in their DLC expansion. However, it'd be great to see this feature added as standard, so everyone can experience it via the base game. New Game Plus is an unlockable mode which becomes available after players complete the game at least once, and players often get to keep the items they acquired from their first playthrough. Breath of the Wild is famous for its speedrunning community, and I'd really like to see Nintendo embracing this and adding speedrunning support into the game. I know players have software to calculate their split times and show that to their communities, but I'd love to see Nintendo embrace speedrunning and include these features as standard, and maybe even offer incentives to players for speedrunning, I wouldn't want this during my first playthrough, but I think it would offer up a really interesting challenge post-campaign. Also, I think it'd be interesting to explore randomizer content. So A Link to the Past is famous for its randomizer community, and once again, I think it'd be great to see Nintendo embrace this and offer up a randomizer mode post-campaign in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So for a more traditional approach, Nintendo could offer us an epilogue, much like we saw in Red Dead Redemption 2. It has been reported that the Zelda team have been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 during the development of Tears of the Kingdom, and perhaps that influence could make it into the game as an epilogue. We could play as different characters, maybe even Princess Zelda, for example, or new side quests could be added, and things could really open up. So I'd love to see more meaningful side quests, much like we see in The Witcher 3. So these side quests were so good that they were on par with the main story content. While good, the side quests in Breath of the Wild, they weren't really as good as they could have been, plus the rewards for side quests were often only rupees, which, to be honest, compared to the effort, was a little bit disappointing. So talking about side quests and rewards, I would love to see more weapon quests. It'd be great to go off on adventures around Hyrule, have to solve a number of steps including, elements of travel, solving puzzles, or having to defeat large and difficult enemies to get powerful weapons. So once we get these weapons, I'd love to be able to see us invest in those weapons and power them up over time. Well, finally, how about a co-op mode? We've seen the videos of Breath of the Wild being modded to add co-op mode, but a co-op mode added to the post-campaign would give you a massive reason to go back and play with family or friends and enjoy that experience all over again. This time in co-op mode, it would be completely different, and I reckon that'd be a really, really exciting feature. Well, let me know down in the comments what you want to see from the endgame or the post-campaign content in Tears of the Kingdom. I would really, really love to hear from you. Well, that is it for this look at why we need a better endgame in the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And as always, thank you so much for watching or listening. For more Legend of Zelda content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to Triforce Times. Or you can check me out on Twitter at Triforce Times. Well, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.